How could you let him? I asked my mother. How? Don't you care about me? I threw the poster down and ran into my room. I slammed the door, took off my shoe, and flung it out the wall. It made a black mark where it hit. Well, so what? Soon I heard my mother hollering, then Fudge crying. After a while, my mother knocked on my bedroom door and called, Peter, may I come in? I didn't answer. She opened the door and walked over to my bed. She sat down next to me. I'm very sorry, she said. I still didn't say anything. Peter? She began. I didn't look at her. She touched my arm. Peter, please listen. Don't you see, Mom? I can't ever do my homework without him messing it up. It just isn't fair. I wish you had never born. Never. I hate him. You don't hate him. My mother said, you just think you do. Don't tell me. I said, I mean it. I really can't stand that kid. You're angry, my mother told me. I know that, and I don't blame you. Fudge had no right to touch your poster. I spanked him. You did? I asked. Fudge never gets spanked. My parents don't believe in spanking. You really spanked him? I asked again. Yes, my mother said. Hard? I asked. On his backside, she told me. I thought that over. Peter, my mother put her arm around me. I'll buy you a new poster board tomorrow. It was really my fault. I should never have let him into your room. That's why I need a lock on my door, I said. I don't like locks on doors. We're a family. We don't have to lock each other out. If I had a lock, Fudge wouldn't have gotten my poster. It won't happen again, my mother promised. I wanted to believe her, but really, I didn't. Unless we tied him up, I knew my brother would get into my room again. I agree on not locking doors in families, by the way. The next day, while I was at school, my mother bought a new yellow poster board. The hard part was explaining to Jimmy that we had to start all over again. He was a good sport about it. He said that this time he'd make sure his truck didn't look like a flying train. And I said, this time, I'll make pencil marks first so my letters didn't go uphill. Our committee met that afternoon. Sheila didn't mention the last time. Neither did we. That's good. They're forgetting each other. Forgiving. Me and Jimmy worked on the poster while Sheila copied our written work into the booklet. We'd be ready to give our oral report to the class on Monday. Not like some committees who hadn't even started yet. Oh, wow, they're doing a good job then. By 5 o'clock, we had finished our poster, and Sheila was almost done with the cover for our booklet. Jimmy walked over and stood behind her, watching her work. After a minute, he yelled, "What do you think you're doing, Sheila?" I got up from the floor and joined them at my desk. I took a look at the cover. It was pretty nice. I said, Transportation in the City, under which it said, by Sheila Tubman, Peter Hatcher, and James Fargo. And under that in small letters, it said, handwritten by Miss Sheila Tubman. I mean, she has the right. She did all the work. Now I knew why Jimmy was so mad. Oh, no, I said, holding my arms head. How could you? Sheila didn't say anything. It's not fair, I told her. We didn't put our names on the poster. But the cover's all done, Sheila said. Can't you see that? I'll never get the letter so straight again. It looks perfect. Oh, no, Jimmy shouted. We're not handing the booklet in like that. I'll rip it up before I let you. He grabbed the booklet and threatened to tear it in half. Sheila screamed. You wouldn't! I'll kill you! Give it back to me, Jimmy Fargo! She was ready to cry. I knew Jimmy wouldn't tear it up, but I didn't say so. Peter, make him give it back. Will you take off that line about your handwriting? I asked. I can't. It'll ruin the booklet. Then I think he should rip it up, I said. Sheila stamped her foot. Ooh, I hate you both! Look what he's reusing his mom's line here. You don't really, I told her. You just think you do. I know I do, Sheila cried. That's because you're angry right now, I said. I couldn't help smiling. Sheila jumped up and tried to get the booklet, but Jimmy held it over his head, and he's much taller than Sheila. She had no chance at all. Finally, she sat down and whispered, I give up. You win. I'll take my name off. You promise? Jimmy said, I promise, Sheila said. Jimmy set the booklet down on my desk in front of Sheila. Okay, he said, start. I'm not going to make a whole new cover. Sheila said. What I'll do is turn this bottom line into a decoration. She picked up a magic marker and made little flowers out of the words. Soon, handwritten by Miss Sheila Tubman, turned into 16 small flowers. There, Sheila said. It's done. Looks pretty good, I told her. Would have looked better without those flowers, Jimmy said. But at least it's fair now. That night, I showed my mother and father our new poster. They thought it was great, especially our Silver Sparkle airplane. My father put the poster on top of the refrigerator so it would be safe until the next day, when I would take it to school. Now, I had nothing to worry about. Sheila had the booklet, the poster was safe, and our committee was finished before schedule. I went into my room to relax. Fudge was sitting on the floor near my bed. My shoebox of supplies was in front of them. My face was a mess of magic marker colors, and he was using my extra sharp scissors to snip away at his hair. Oh no! Justin did this to himself. And the hair he snipped was dropping into Drubble's bowl, which I see he had in front of him on the floor. See? He said. See? Fudgy the barber. That night I found out that hair doesn't hurt my turtle. I picked off every strand from his shell. I cleaned out his bowl and washed off his rocks. He seemed happy. 2 things happened the next day. One was my mother had to take Fudge to the real barber to do something about his hair. He had plenty left in the back, but there was nothing in front and on top. The barber said there wasn't much he could do until the hair grew back. Between his fangs and his hair, he was getting funnier looking every day. The second was my father came home with a chain latch for my bedroom door. I could reach it when I stood on tiptoe, but that brother of mine couldn't reach it at all, no matter what. Our committee was the first to give its report. Mrs. Haver said we did a super job. She liked our poster a lot. She thought the Silver Sparkle airplane was the best. The only thing she asked about was, how come we included a picture of a flying train?